Welcome back to another episode of whatever the fuck we want to call this. I'm your host, Ad Sloan, and with me is a very special guest. We have David Lloyd in the house. How's it going, mate?
Fantastic, Adam. Thank you for having me.
No worries. This is a special episode all on its own. We're going to start doing this, which is we're going to get the community involved live on YouTube so we can hear what you guys actually think about the community and hear your stories. But before we go any further, I just want to play you a quick, it's like 4-second video from our sponsor, which is Shake and Bake Media. So enjoy. Well, so if you want any logos, info, head over to Shake and Bake Media. Dave, what are you vaping on?
I have a Fatality 25mm on a Tree of Life box mod. I'm running my Pound Cake e-juice, which is my ADV juice. I use it in everything all the time. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Aegis is running, Aegis X. And I'm running, this one is the Profile Mesh Deck. I know Mesh Decks get a lot of hate, but man, I love Mesh Decks. And, everyone says, well, it takes too long to wick, blah, 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 blah. And if you get a dry hit, it's the end of the world. But you know what? I have no problems. I never get dry hits. I can wick this up as fast as I can wick it up anything else.
Yeah.
And so for me, I get great flavor from Mesh. So I stick with that a lot. I got the Juggernaut on another Aegis X, and I'm running the Pound Cake in this. And I got an older Aegis Legend, and I got a homemade strawberry cheesecake in there. But I'm kind of strawberry blind, so it's not working out so great for me. And on this one, I forgot to mention, on this drop, I have a homemade butter pecan ice cream. It's not bad. It's not bad. And so I'm going to make up another batch of that. And I'm getting into the DIY because you never know in Canada, because with the laws changing all the time, and it looks like very soon we're going to have a flavor ban. So I'll be damned if I'm going to be stuck with tobacco e-juice. And it's not even that. Canada is going to ban flavors, but they're saying that they're going to ban certain ingredients. So what that means, no one knows. So I don't want to get stuck. So I purchased a good 1.5 years of my ADV juice. I have it in the cabinet, and that'll give me time to learn how to do DIY properly. And I picked up recently probably 120 different flavorings. And I've got loads of vegetable glycerin, and I've got probably 4 liters of Nick.
Oh, you're sorted.
Oh yeah. No, because you never know if they might just go after the DIY as well.
Yeah. So you need to cover your ass.
Exactly. I mean, they can't stop the vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol. That's impossible because it's in too many things. Plus, I'm a buyer at a soft gel encapsulation company. So, I mean, every year I buy probably 200 tons of glycerin, probably 5 to 10 tons of propylene glycol. So I have access to, I could fill a swimming pool if I wanted to.
Everyone in Canada is going to come to you for it then.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone is going to going to figure out a way to keep on vaping regardless of the government. And it's unfortunate because I think a lot of people are going to be driven to the black market, and that is super dangerous. And what's going to happen, if you don't mind me preaching a bit.
No, you crack on, mate.
I think what's going to happen is if anyone gets sick with vaping, the media is going to grab onto it. See, we told you so.
Yep. And if it's just because it's the black market and people are going to make it for the money, so they're going to put anything in it. You'll end up having oils in it and shit. Oh. They don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. And I mean, if there's oil in it, then you get into lipoid pneumonia, which is what caused that whole Valley bullshit.
Yeah. It's mental shit. I don't envy you guys at the moment. Even though they're trying, it looks like they're starting to try and come down on our asses as well. So
It's funny you say that, Adam, because I've been thinking, Adam, what's his name, Michael Bloomberg. That
yeah,
man is going to do anything he can to shut down the UK because the whole world is looking to the UK as that shining light on the hill for vaping, And
yep,
that man has got billions of dollars. He's very influential, and he's devious on top of it.
yeah. And I just hope that British government is as tight-fisted and as stubborn as the people, because we ain't going to stand for it.
Oh, I hope so,
But,
because
yeah.
I think the key to vaping around the world will be what the UK does. Even
Well,
though I know a lot of governments are ignoring the UK, they can only ignore the UK for so long because statistics don't lie. You can manipulate them all you want. But at the end of the day, when the cancer rates start dropping in the UK, then they can't ignore it any longer.
And the one is really weird. One of the main reasons why the UK have such high amount of vapors is because it's cheaper than smoking, and none of us want to spend that. It's £14 for a pack of cigarettes.
Oh, that's crazy. But here's it's kind of funny. In my case, I was smoking native cigarettes, so they're dirt cheap. They were $2 Canadian a pack.
Bloody hell!
So in the end, I'm spending way more money vaping, but
Yeah.
it's also way more enjoyable. And it's also a question of health. Look, I was
Oh,
on my
massively. Yeah.
I was on my last leg when I was smoking 2 packs a day for 43 years. I have no illusions
Wow.
about what's coming. But between the time I quit and to the time it hits me, I'll have a much better quality of life. Much
Oh,
better.
massively. Yeah. Bloody hell! I didn't realize how long you've been smoking for.
Yeah, I've been smoking since I was about, I don't know, 13, and I'm 57.
That's a fair amount of time. And like Dave was saying before the show, he literally transitioned. One day smoker, next day vapor. Where a lot of us did dual use. I dual used for quite a while.
And God bless. I mean, you know what? You do
Yeah.
whatever you can to get off smoking. If it means dual using, if it means going whatever, whatever you want to do, as long as ultimately you get off smoking. And even
Yes.
if you start vaping and ultimately you quit vaping and you don't smoke again, that's good too. I mean, it's all about
Yeah.
harm reduction. And,
I've got a couple of mates at work that vaped, and then they stopped. They used it as a way to stop smoking altogether, and they went down to zero nick, vaped zero nick for about a month, and none of them have even touched a cigarette or vaping since. So, like, it done the job for me.
God
So,
bless them.
yeah,
God bless them, because I mean,
but
at the end of the day, I mean, vaping, they say, is 95% better than smoking. And if you've never smoked, you should never vape. It's
exactly.
as simple as that.
Right, before we get into it, I'll do my quick buffet. Only short and sweet today. Nightmare 25 on the Denali. In that, I've got the Banana Man. I've also got the Wicked Bridge, the English edition. I don't know if the English edition. In that, I have what? Sapodilla. Bit of a posh liquid. Sapodilla, strawberry and watermelon.
Hmm.
I have no idea what a sapodilla is, but if it tastes as good as this, I'm happy.
I've never even heard of it.
And lastly, I have the Abyss with the Ether Bridge, and in there is a mixture of Country Fudge by Amatorium with Dripper Labs praline ice cream.
Ooh, praline ice cream. That sounds good.
It is really good, but then I put the Country Fudge in it, and mate, I just do half and half, and it's unbelievable. I've ploughed through 50 mils of Country Fudge in a week, and
Wow.
it is good shit. Really
Yeah.
good stuff.
Did you ever get that Australian juice you wanted to get? The Frank Atticus and Frank Tones and all that?
Oh, I think Birdman's going to sort me out with some
Okay.
Frank and Atticus.
Okay.
So I can't wait to get my hands on some of that. I've been wanting to try it for ages.
I have a bunch of bottles. It's good stuff, but for my taste, it's not sweet enough.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But it's very good.
I jump between sweet, non-sweet. I do fruits, candies,
Right.
desserts. I vape everything. Tobacco's hit. I'm more of a cigar if I decide to vape it. But I got a bottle of. Well, I'll cover the label, but it's Kentucky Leaf, so it's meant to be
Okay.
like. Oh, I put a little bit in and it made me gag. So I didn't want to show the company. So they do what they do and people love it. But
Right.
or for me, it was too much. So I normally go for the cigar with like a toffee undertone or something.
Okay, that sounds good.
So, but that's what if I have tobaccos, that's what I go for. Before we go any further, because I keep forgetting to do this, we'll just shout some people out in chat. We had Mike K in, but I know he's going to on the replay. So welcome back, Mike. We have King Solo. Hello, mate. We have Free Rider Vapor. We have Dean T. We have, as always, Vapor Queen Becky. She says hello to you as well.
Hello.
We have Birdman. Geordie sent him.
Birdie.
We have Aileen Bell.
Aileen, how you doing?
We have Neil Pitts in as well. Hello, mate. We have Mike Haynes. Hello, mate.
Hey, Mike.
Chris Doyle was in. Hello, mate. Blimey, there's loads of people in today. Everyone's just chatting, which is good to see. Yeah, so we're all here just to get involved with the community a bit more. So what I want to do is ask Dave some questions if he doesn't mind.
Not at all.
Oh, and talk of the devil, and he appears. We have Tribal Buddha in the house.
Hey.
And Evan Covenant as well. Walter White sent him. Have a good show, Birdie. I'll catch the end of it when this is finished. Right, so Dave, how did you get into vaping? What? How did you find it?
It's kind of a funny story. I was at work one day and I had walked into the lobby and the FedEx driver was coming in with a package and I saw him vaping before he came in. And I talk to the guy regularly when he comes by. So I started talking to him about it. And, he told me about a store down the road. I said, you know what, I'm going to go check that out after work. So I went to the store and I picked up a melt-to-lung device. And you know what, I can't remember. I think it was a Spire Zelos. And so I tried it out. It worked within 24 hours or smoke-free, but I didn't find I was getting enough vapor.
Yeah.
So then from there, I went to a smock. And everyone knows how crappy those things are, but it worked. Again, it worked. So from there, I went to a rouleau with sub-ohm tanks, and I still have the Freemax tanks. They're amazing. The quad coil Freemax, phenomenal. And so that's what I stuck with. But the one problem I mentioned before, it took me forever to find the juice I really liked, and I finally found a pound cake from a place in Ontario. So I ordered 120 ml bottles, and so I have 70 bottles in my cabinet that tide me over until I figure out how to DIY properly.
Everyone starts with Smock. My first two devices were Smock as well. I had the Baby Beast pen. I think it was called the Baby Beast V8 thing. And then I had the TFE 12, I think, or 10 or whatever it is, with the dual, the two coil screw thing. So I think most people probably started with a Smock device. They're great for starting because they're simple to use.
Yeah.
But you're not going to use it solidly for 2-3 years. You generally use it for 6 months, and you go and buy something else.
Well, they won't they don't last. I mean, and plus at the time, the quality of their coils was horrible. Probably 50% of the coils failed.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem with the old mass market coils, isn't it? You're always going to get a dodgy one every now and then.
But with the Freemax coils, I've probably gone through hundreds of those coils. Never had a bad one, not once.
Oh wow, you've been lucky. KVTV said, dude, the J-Bo Reload was amazing. He misses his.
Well, my rouleau just tanked out. Just one day, I put some batteries in. I went to turn it on, never turned on again.
It just gave up the ghost.
Just gave up. And when I went back to the store, they said, don't bother. So it's whatever.
Get something else.
And from there, I went on to the Geek Vapes Aegis. I got the Aegis Legend. I got a whole bunch of them because, I mean, they really, for me, I haven't had any problems with them. The paint will wear off in that, but otherwise, no problem. But they eat batteries. They really go through the batteries. So, if I go out, I'm carrying 2 extra sets of batteries with me. Because I chain vape, so I'm just plowing through the juice,
Yeah, I'm a bit of a chain vape. I always take 2 sets of batteries with me.
Yeah.
just to be sure. Because I think it was only like a month or two ago, I went out and I went to work. So I do 10-hour shifts. I'm out of the house for like 13 hours. I had my Denali with me, and the battery, I didn't realize that I didn't charge overnight.
Oh no.
And it was like a third of a charge. So I got to work and I literally got about 8 or 9 puffs out of it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I went and looked for my package. There was no batteries, so I had to go all day without a vape.
Oh no.
But to be honest, it was weird. Looking back on it, yeah, I did get a bit aggy to start with, but I was actually all right.
Wow.
But if it was cigarettes,
Oh no.
I wouldn't have been able to do it.
I can remember like having to fly places. I'd literally power smoke before I went into the airport, and then maybe 20 minutes after takeoff, I'd be just smelling my finger, kind of thing. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, I was bad when flying. I was always really arsey because all I wanted was a cigarette.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, when you got off the plane, you had a cigarette. It tastes like shit, but you kept smoking.
Yeah. Have you ever had a relapse moment at all?
No, not
in
one.
4 years.
Not one. And my wife still smokes, and she's a heavy smoker. And sometimes I'll come in here. It's like a fumoir in here, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I just vape, and I'm fine.
Oh well, I've only had one relapse.
Right.
And I was lucky because I worked with a Turkish bloke, and back then he used to get his tobacco in loose bags from Turkey, and he gave me this cigarette. Oh, it was so strong and nasty. I had like 2 puffs. I had to sit on the floor. I thought I was going to pass out. I felt so ill, and then I never went back to it.
Well, I once ran out of cigarettes. I was in Europe. I ran out of cigarettes, and I bought a pack of Gitan. Oh my God, I'll never forget that. That was like putting your mouth over an exhaust pipe and starting the car. Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, we had a message from Ern here. I'm here in the background, not doing very well right now, but I need something that seems normal for a minute. I love you all. Look after yourself, mate. Reach out if you need anything. We're all here for you.
I'm so sorry you're hear about your loss. That's horrible. It's just
reach out if you need anything. Mate.
I wish there was words to help you, but I know what it's like. I know what it's like. It's horrible.
Oh. But since doing that, I've never touched a cigarette since. At all. I was sitting on the floor. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be sick." And that was because I didn't have my vape on me.
Right. I mean, it's amazing. When you think of how well vaping works to get off smoking, and like in North America, how anti-vaping they are. It's just, you got to wonder what's really behind everything. Like I'm not a conspiracy nut, but it's hard to imagine that they're not just focused on how much money they make from cigarettes. And then everything else, like all these groups that only exist because people smoke, and if people don't smoke, these groups are gone, and they have immense lobbyists that just do nothing but forward their agenda, and really got to wonder, do they really care about people, or do they really just, it's all about the money?
It's all about, I think it's all about the money at the end of the day. People invested way too much money in it.
Yeah.
But it's really weird. Like in the UK, you don't get smoking ads at all. But people still smoke in TV shows.
Right.
And they will have real cigarettes that they will smoke. But you can advertise vaping over here. And vaping's all over British TV, British films. People are openly vaping and smoking. And I just think the British don't really give a monkeys, really.
I think the British don't. I mean, I don't know so much about the UK, but I think the government is taking their approach is the long game. So they're looking at, well, how much money can we save if our population is not coming down with cancer or emphysema or other smoking related illnesses? So they look at that, and I'm just throwing out a number, but let's just say it costs the government $100 million to treat smokers every year that get sick. If they don't have to spend that $100 million, and everyone doesn't get sick, I mean, they win. But over here, they're only looking at the short term. So tax revenue on cigarettes gives them whatever $100 million a year. They don't want to let that go.
No.
And you can see it. I mean, it's hard not to be jaded or believe in conspiracies when they're doing everything to ban vaping, but you can go at any corner store and get cigarettes. And when I say they're
Yeah.
doing everything to ban vaping, like recently they banned rebuildables in Canada
No.
because it's not childproof, really. And I mean, anybody with a brain, okay, if this is not childproof, what about a pack of cigarettes? What about a bottle
Yeah.
of alcohol? But that's okay because they make huge revenues from tobacco and alcohol and weed too. And
Yeah.
then they hit with the nic cap. Now, it didn't affect me because I vape 3 milligrams. They put the nic cap at 20 milligrams.
So you're all right.
I'm all right, but that's okay. I'm all right, but what about people that really depend on higher than 20 milligrams? Yes, you can vape more, but how much are you going to vape?
Yeah, you just could have it attached to you
Exactly.
24/7.
Exactly, and then they're talking about the flavor ban, and the government here they just do it. And even their own studies. There was a study by Health Canada that said, if we do all this, it's going to force vapors back to smoking. And basically they say the same thing as the Governor Cuomo in New York State. So what?
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, it hurts your mind to think that the government that we elect to protect us does anything but.
It's all about the moolah at the end of the day. Like, I think very much for the UK, where we don't pay for our health care. Well, we do in taxes, but it generally falls on the government and their loss of money through cancer.
Yeah.
Like the cancer treatment, they're losing shitloads of money. They're making money on smoking, but our smoking rates are so low now that if I walk down my high street, I will see more vapors than smokers.
Wow, it's the opposite here. And our government's the same. We have socialized medicine. We can, you just present your card and whatever you need done is done for free. But
okay,
there's so many smokers here that they don't want to give up their revenue.
Yeah, 99% of our vapors, I know it's a high number, but it's probably well off, is the disposable users and the little old grannies. That they'll go in and get the little starter kits with their little clearomisers, go to corner shop, spend £4 or £5 on a little 10ml bottle and get like 4 of them for £5, and they're happy. And a lot of the English lot now do is when you went to the pub, if like I was like a 40 a day smoker, I would know I'd smoke 60 at the pub. Because when you drink, you smoke.
Yeah.
A lot of the English lot now are doing, when they go to the pub, they buy 2 disposables because our disposables are like anywhere from $1.99 to $5.99.
Wow, that's cheap.
So they'll go and buy 2 or 3 disposables and go to the pub because once you finish with it, they just chuck it. And if you lose it, it's not a lot, and it's cheaper than smoking.
Yeah, but I don't know what the pricing for disposables is over here, but it's not that cheap. That's for sure.
Oh, you can get it for £1.
No, there's no way. There's no way you get it that cheap here. No way.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of the kids as well. And I know they say it's not aimed at minors, but all the kids that I know that smoke, because I started when I was 11.
Yeah.
A lot of the English start smoking at such a young age.
Yeah.
So you'd get like the 14, 15-year-olds that you would see on the corner, choosing a cigarette with their mates.
Right.
They've got a disposable, which they shouldn't be sold it, but they would have bought cigarettes anyway.
Right. I feel the same way too, but I see more kids smoking than I do vaping here. Very rare do I see a young person vaping. Very rare.
I find now, it was quite weird. I was talking to a mate at work about it, that the kids nowadays, especially in the UK, are much more, shall I say, health conscious and look conscious.
Right.
So a lot of them now, they go to the gym. There's gyms in school. They're all in the gym.
Right.
A lot of them are very much like health conscious. They used to smoke. They all now vape. It was like, oh, kids are vaping. It was like, well, he had a cigarette last week. Yeah, it's not good that he's vaping, but I'd rather him vape than smoke.
Yeah, for sure.
Because at the end of the day, hopefully, he will just stop fucking doing it altogether.
Yeah. And I mean, this argument, like the hysteria about kids vaping, I mean, you're right. They're better off vaping than they are smoking. And how they're getting them, I don't know. Because you have to be 18 here to buy a vape. And you have to be 18 to buy cigarettes. So somehow they're getting this stuff.
Yeah.
Probably the corner stores that are very unscrupulous. They don't care who they sell to. That's probably where they're getting it from.
That's what we used to do. And when I was at school, there was our corner shop that used to sell a single cigarettes for 20p. You'd have
Yep.
a pack under there, go quick, go and fuck off. And they'd give
Yeah.
you one non-safety match as well. And if you didn't get that cigarette lit, you wouldn't give you another one. So,
That
but
sounds.
the kids are all going to find a ways to do
Of
anything they want
course.
to do.
I mean, like, look, when I was a kid, they didn't care what they were selling at all, anywhere. Like, I can remember going into a liquor store when I was like 14 or 15. They never asked for ID. I mean, I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking 30 odd years ago. But back then, you could just walk in, no ID, nothing. Buy a Mickey or whatever's the cheapest. Go into the food court with your buddy and split half into a cup of Coke, and then away you went.
Yeah. Well, I stopped drinking about quite a few years ago now, about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I stopped drinking.
Oh, alcohol and me don't go together. Oh no.
Join a club.
Oh, I was in the army for a short time, and I was drinking heavy, and I was always in trouble. I mean, I got locked up in the stockade, the whole 9 yards. So, no more drinking.
My vice is vaping and a strong black coffee in the morning. That's literally the only thing that I do out of the norm. And I'll occasionally have a can of Coke every now and then, and that's literally about it.
Yeah, diabetes put an end to my Coke days.
Oh, when I was younger, I used to have like 3 Red Bulls on the way to work and a pack of cigarettes. And for lunch would be 3 Red Bulls and a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I'm paying the price for it.
Yeah. Oh, I stopped. Like, I'm only 33 now, so
right.
I gave it all up.
It's good because once you hit your, not to sound condescending or anything, but once you're in your 40s, that's when everything starts to go wrong. So the fact that you quit in your early 30s means that you won't have all these problems when you're in your 40s and 50s.
Yeah, I got covered in arthritis and stuff because I used to skateboard. So I always used to injure myself. Like I've dislocated my knees and everything like that. So I'm already feeling the crunch when it's cold and like I've broken all my knuckles. So they're all knackered. And I don't think I could have dealt with any more health conditions apart from that.
I have the same problem. I dislocated my shoulder when I was young and I pushed it back in myself. And now I can barely lift my arm.
But no, it's mental. Like I have noticed very much like especially people that are hobbyist vapors,
right,
have generally cut like away from all pretty much all devices. May occasionally have a drink or like and stuff. Like if you look at Birdman, he's a massive hobbyist. He barely drinks. He may have 1 or 2 a couple of times a year. But I have found the people that go down that route and rebuilding, obviously may have had in the past. So this is a massive assumption. Like a drug, some sort of addiction to drug, alcohols, or was pushed the boat too far and brought it back in. And I don't know whether it's just because you're using your hands and it keeps you busy.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, it's like you're creating something, and it makes you feel good. And when you're down or whatever, you make some coils or you make some juice, and it's like, oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, you can sit back and it's like instant pleasure. Once you've done it, you can actually sit back and enjoy it. Like I knew with I had no patience. I was quite an angry teenager, quite punchy. But as soon as I found coil building, it helped me with my my concentration, my not being so angry, the patience.
Yep.
And not just scream, see you next Tuesday at the drill every 2 minutes because you can't get your alien. You know what I mean? It's mental.
Oh yeah, I can't agree with you more. When I started making my own Claptons, it was like I was so impressed with myself.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll ever get the aliens. That's a little so far.
You'll get there.
Much. But it's so cool to make your own coils, and and then you can tailor make it to whatever you want, your resistance. So it's just brilliant.
Yeah, they're so versatile as well, and even like fuse Claptons.
Yep.
There's a lot of people I know. Buddha will say this. He loves his fuse Claptons. He prefers them pretty much over aliens because it's literally just a fancy fuse Clapton at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So once you get the Claptons down, you can pretty much stop at that. But aliens are fun to make. Well, when you get them all laying perfectly, there's no issues. It is a good feeling.
I can imagine. I'll get there, I'm sure. Like I'm right now, a couple of my setups are my own Claptons, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, I always think they taste better when you make them yourself.
Could be.
You make them out of love.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, and
Sure.
this might take a while for you to answer, but yeah. I'll just ask you the question: where would you like to see vaping to be in 5 years' time?
I'd
In
like
an
to see
ideal situation.
I'd like to see vaping like the UK, where the government promotes it as an effective quitting smoking technique. Because honestly, the NRT, nicotine replacement therapy, the patches, gum, the whole 9 yards, they don't work. They do not work. And so I would like to see the government promote vaping. I would like to see vaping much more available. Yeah, I'd like the stores to be able to sell what people want, not just what the law says they can sell. And for me, that would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, like device wise, would you? Because obviously, I don't know if you've noticed it as well, but it's very much samey at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, but it's to each his own. It's very subjective, like juice, right? Because some people, how many people are going to want to carry around this monster?
Yeah.
Everyone wants that very small, maybe like a whatchamacallit, Caliburn G or something like that, something
Yeah.
very small that can just tuck in their pocket and away they go. So it's very subjective. I mean, I prefer at minimum dual battery mods just because of the battery life. I'm chain with vapor, so I'm not constantly changing batteries. That's
Yeah.
what I prefer. But a lot of people, especially women, I would think, and that's kind of a stereotype, but and it's probably not universal, but they're carrying a purse, so they want something small enough to just throw in the purse and it doesn't get in the way.
Yeah. It's very much carrying around big devices.
Right.
You generally have to have a strong belt and probably some braces, because trying to walk around with like an Odin 250C in your pocket,
Exactly.
it does make it quite different. It's different if you're in a car all day or you've got somewhere where you can put it. See, I use disposables in my car
Okay.
just because I don't like blowing big clouds in the car.
Yeah, it takes and you end up cleaning your glass all the time.
Yeah, I only done it a couple of times, and I blew it. Naturally, you blow it in front of you, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't see." It's the sort of thing. So I have like 2 or 3 pods just down the side of the car that I only use
Okay.
whilst I drive. So I go from that to series to mechs to billet boxes to I do the whole 9 yards. I've got a disposable sitting here as well,
Right.
which is my next one I'm putting in the car. So the versatility of vaping, I think, is amazing.
Exactly. I mean, I don't
But
carry my mechs out of the house really, just because if there's any vibration, something gets loose, you could have a big problem very quickly. But like I carry all my big mods, and then, like I explained before the show, I have a motorcycle with a cup holder. So I'm going down the road just blowing these huge clouds, and everyone's looking at me.
oh, well, since you said that, King Soda Put, I'm at the stage of vaping now where big is beautiful.
Exactly. And one of the other reasons I think maybe people carry smaller things like the Caliburn G or like a single battery mod, like something very, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but something that doesn't attract attention, because there's such a stigma against vaping that people
Yeah,
want to be very stealthy when they vape. They want to
yeah,
be able to cup it in their hand and, maybe hold it in a while so there's almost no vapor coming out. Because,
yeah,
like the media has done everything they can to demonize vaping. So, you're almost a war criminal by having a vape. I've even had people. I had this guy come up to me. I had stopped at a coffee shop to get a coffee on my motorcycle, and I'm sitting there having my coffee, vaping away on a big mod, in a big tank and big clouds. Some guy comes up to me and he's holding a cigarette. He says, "That's going to kill you." I didn't know what. I thought he was joking. I didn't know what to say to him. I said, "You got to be kidding me." You know,
So you talk about the motorcycle or the vape?
What do you say to someone that's so disinformed, that has no proper information? Once you start to try to explain to anyone, their eyes glaze over.
Yeah,
You lose them immediately because they're so indoctrinated into believing that vaping is bad.
yeah. See, I have the issue over here with my nan. My nan was a heavy smoker, and back in the day, she got really bad like lung cancer. They removed one of her lungs,
Oh my
so
God.
she's got this big scar down her back. She can't lay
Oh,
down on a
poor
certain way.
thing.
and she says to me, "That's worse than smoking. That's going to fucking kill you."
Yeah.
And you try and explain it. No, bullshit.
Yeah.
Talking shit.
Yeah.
And I got to the point. I was like, "Do you know what? She used to be a nurse."
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to buy a Dr. Colin Mendelssohn's book and let her read it. But I know she will read it and be like, bullshit. Some people, you just can't change their opinion.
You can't. It's funny you say that, because I bought the book and I gave it to my GP, and she said that's just what I was looking for. So now she is going to spread the word, I hope.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. Oh, talk about Dr. Colin Mendelssohn. Head over to my website. If you go into the advocacy page, go to the bottom. There's a free preview of the book, and you can order it straight from there. It will take you straight to the Amazon page, and you can order the book. Get yourself a copy. Buy a couple. I was tempted to buy a whole stack of them and just go around just lobbing them at people. Just so the ones that turn around and said, because for me, vaping, it was my mum and my dad and my doctor that told me to vape.
Right.
And when people go, my doctor tells me not to vape, I'm like, how stupid can you be? You know what I mean? It annoys me.
All I know is and you know, a lot of the media and other people, they don't want to accept anecdotal evidence. So, I mean, all I can say, though, is, I mean, my lungs are clear. I don't snore. I'm not coughing as much. Obviously, I do cough. I mean, I spent 43 years smoking 2 packs a day. I did some serious damage. Okay?
Yeah.
But nowhere near what I used to be. Like, I used to cough constantly. And when I woke up, I'd be coughing and coughing and coughing. And I'd still light up a cigarette. The first thing you do is light up a cigarette and go make a coffee, and then light up another cigarette. You know, it's stupid.
Yeah. But did you used to smoke in a house as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's always the tough one. I was always outside. I'd have to go outside smoking. So I would spend more than half my life outside.
Right.
You'd be out in the snow, the rain, the wind.
Right.
And you stand out there fucking freezing your tits off, trying to smoke. And
I used to smoke outside on my terrace, and then my wife is a heavy smoker too. She just started smoking inside. I said, well, I'm not going to go stand outside while you have a cigarette inside.
Yeah.
You know? So I just started smoking inside.
Oh, what did your missus think about you vaping?
Oh, she's in favor of it. I tried to get her vaping, but she's stubborn as an ox. So can't get. So far, I haven't been able to get her on. And maybe it's too. I should probably buy a higher nic juice for her, because I let her use a flavor she likes, but it's in 3 milligram. So maybe she needs a higher nic.
Yeah. That's the weird thing. Is like when I started vaping, I knew nothing about nic strengths. I just went by what the guy behind the counter says, and there's not really a definitive of what you should have. So, like, my vape shop was like, "How many do you smoke a day?" I was like, 40, but if I'm drinking 60, but I drink most days, so it's probably more like 55. And it was like 3 milligram. There you go. But probably I needed 6, because then I dual used for a long time.
See, I was opposite. They gave me, I think it was 12 or 18. And oh my God, it was it was horrible. And so I went down to probably 12 or 9 fairly quickly. And then from that, I went down fairly quickly to 3. And 3 milligrams for me is where I want to be. I can vape a 0 milligram, but I'll have a 3 milligram set up around me so I can, take a hit.
Yeah, it's I went from 3 to 1.5 to 1, up to 1.5, back up to 3. Down. I've just been going up and down. It was like situational. When we found out my wife was pregnant, straight back up, and then it went down again. Oh, I think Dave's had a bit of a freeze. There you go. We're back.
Was that you or me?
That was you.
Oh, great.
That's all right. No, we're good. We're back. No, I said I was fluctuating, and when I found out my wife was pregnant, it went straight back up again.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you're stressed or something going on, you'll go up a bit and then you'll come down. I mean, I think that's normal.
Yeah, and it's great that we've got the choice to be able to do that without having the damages of smoking another packet of cigarettes a day.
That's 100%. Because I remember when I was smoking, any little stressor, anything, didn't matter what it was, bam, I was smoking more,
Yeah.
And I remember one time I quit for 30 days, and every day was worse than the last. And I'm telling you, I was ready to kill people.
Yeah.
And finally, it was some big stressor at work. I said, fuck this. And I was back. And right away, I was at a pack. The next day, I was at 2 packs, and I stayed there. And then
Yeah.
vaping, I haven't had, and it doesn't matter. My job is incredibly stressful. I've never had an urge to have a cigarette.
Oh,
Never,
wow.
not one.
Yeah, because it's quite nice. I think with the flavors and that, it helps as well. Where when you want a stress relief, rather than smoking something that tastes nice, you're actually enjoying it. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
could. I pair of a morning. I pair my black coffee up with some sort of like bakery flavor,
Right.
and it's like, oh, I'm a bit stressed in the morning because I know I've got an hour. I've got all this shit to do because
Right.
I start building coils at like 4:10 in the morning.
I don't know
So
how you do it. I
I'll
hear
build.
how you do it. I don't know how you get up at like 3, 4 in the morning, make coils, and then go to work for like 13 hours, then come home, a baby, a wife, and
Yeah.
then do live streams.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I have to keep myself busy, but it is stressful, but it's a good stress. So
Right.
every morning when I'm thinking about everything I have to do, sitting here with a black coffee and a nice vape, I'm getting the nicotine I need. I'm having a coffee, and everything sort of just it becomes a nice morning because there's
Right.
nice smells. Like you get the vape that complements the coffee, and before I'd be outside clutching a coffee, like
Right.
angrily smoking 2 cigarettes, thinking, "Do I have another one?" No, I can't feel my feet. It's too fucking cold. Let's go inside.
And I don't know if you ever thought of it, but both nicotine and caffeine makes your brain focus.
Mm.
So it wakes you up and it makes you focus and you think and
And if it can be pleasant whilst doing it, then fucking it's a win-win at the end of the day.
oh, for sure. I mean, when you think, do you ever walk by someone that smokes? The stink coming
Mm.
off of them is unbelievable.
I will say
And
it to this day. There's nothing worse. Nothing worse as a smell than a wet smoker.
oh yeah, some smokers for whatever reason they don't smell too bad. But
Yeah.
there's this one guy at work. Oh my God, he comes in my office and I want to throw up. He just this damp smoke smell. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, and my mum used to, because I never smoked around my family. They knew I smoked. I'd always fuck off around the corner. Where
Right.
my sister would stand in the garden chatting to him, smoking, but I would fuck off around the corner and smoke, and they'd be like, "Ad, you fucking stink!" Like I can't smell it.
No, you can't.
I can't smell it. But now I'm like, "Fuck me! Did I smell that bad? That's horrendous."
Oh yeah. When you think, I get embarrassed. I just like put my head down. Did I smell like that? Plus, my finger doesn't look like I dipped it in yellow paint.
Yeah. Pumice stone. For like
Oh
the first
yeah.
6 months, I just pumice stoned the shit out of my hands, and I'm quite lucky. Like nothing stuck in the end. My hands are knackered anyway, but yeah, it was all along here.
Yeah.
But I used to cut the cigarette, so it would be the palm as well that would go.
Oh, I
So
remember that.
I was
Yellow
one of those
palm.
smokers. Yeah, I was stand around the corner, and I smoked a lot of roll ups as well.
Oh my God.
No filters either.
Oh geez, I couldn't do that.
And I'd smoke it down till I'm holding the edge of the paper. And
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
till it burnt my finger, I would carry on smoking it.
Isn't that amazing what we used to do? And it boggles the mind.
Yeah, and I remember
Boggles the mind.
going to parties, and you put your beer down, and
Oh yeah.
someone put a couple of fag butts. You're like, oh mate,
Oh
none of that no more.
no. Oh man, yeah. You think of all those things, and you think, what was the smell of an ashtray? Oh my God. It's like you wake up the next morning, there's an ashtray overflowing and just the stink off of it. And
Yeah,
then you light up.
yeah. My mate, he still does it now. He's a bit of an eco. He wants to save the planet, I think, and he will smoke, and he will put it out and then put the butt in his pocket, his jacket pocket, and he's like 60 a day smoker. So you go to the pub with him.
Was he ever in the army?
No.
No, because that's an army thing. You field strip a cigarette. You never leave the cigarette, the filter behind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, and at the end of the night, he goes, mate, give us your light, and you put your hand in his pocket, and you're just like, oh, the smell when you open the pocket is just 60 cigarette butts. It's all mushed together.
Oh.
Oh. Good old days. You got to look back and laugh at it, because otherwise you just want to cry.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like that's the thing. I wish vaping was around like years and years ago. I mean, my life would be totally different.
Yeah. And I got another question which sort of goes in that row.
Okay.
How do you what do you think of the vaping community as a whole, for
Oh boy.
when you came into vaping and then
Well,
you found the community?
I'm looking over at my TV because that's fairly short order. I guess within a week I was watching reviewers, and I started off with Dean the Vaping Biker
Oh yeah.
and Legion Vapes, and those guys I watched all the time. And I mean, Dean the Vaping Biker was more, like mechs and more building,
Yeah.
but Legion Vapes reviewed everything. So I got a
Yeah.
lot of help from watching his videos, and he's a great guy. And so that's how I came into community, and then I started watching the live streams, and then I kind of interacted with that. And I mean, prior to vaping, I had almost no social media exposure.
Yeah.
Like I'm of the age that I'm not like the kids now; they're born with a phone in their hand.
Yeah.
But I wasn't involved in practically in any way with social media. Now I'm on live streams and on and on and on, which amazes me. I literally cannot believe the interaction I have with the whole world, basically.
Yeah.
I've met so many great people, and I've learned so much from them. It's amazing. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think a lot of, should we say, we'll call it a hobby at the moment,
Right.
because the hobby aside, it is one of the best communities out there. Like, I was the same as you. I hated social media.
Right.
I'd always say social media is the starting cause of all arguments in a relationship and friendships. Because I was back in the day with MySpace and stuff, and I had an account, and I'm not a technical person, so I just used to just forget about it. If you didn't text me, I didn't know. And then once I got involved with vaping, before I started doing the coil business and that, I found that there was the community was very helpful,
Right.
extremely helpful, and very inclusive. There wasn't a stupid answer. You was never scared to say, "Oh, what do I do with this? Like, well, why is this leaking?" And then you've got the person that you're watching talking to you, and then you've got the 30 people in chat all giving you advice,
Right.
and they're not saying, "Oh, you dumb dickhead, fucking go and sort yourself out." It's all very loving. I've never had a bad experience
Nor have
whilst being involved in the. There's drama going on in every group, but it's not like nobody gets dragged into shit.
Yeah, I avoid the drama. Any sites that I see that there's a lot of drama, that's the first and last time I'll go there. And there are a few, and I avoid them. I won't name them. I just avoid them because you know what? I'm not interested in that. I find it almost a therapy to watch various, especially DIY and coil building. It's therapeutic. I come home, I'm stressed out. I watch it, and I just it's like a weight comes off my shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's so I can't say it. I can't even think of the words. I can't even express how much I appreciate being able to be exposed to that, because
and it's very rare that you find, if we look at it from the business side, say coil building for instance, just because it's something we've both had a bit at our fingers in, it's very rare to find someone that runs a business, just say for instance like Twisted Messes or MTurk, that will show you how they make their product and help you make their product as well as sell it. Where you find a lot of businessmen will hide a lot of stuff. No, I ain't showing you what I do. I'm making money off this. Well, I found very much in the vaping community, they're more than happy to help you.
Oh, absolutely. Look at Adam at Breeze Tones. The man's a genius. He's a genius, and he's so down to earth, and he's always showing you how he does things. His bacon roll technique, phenomenal technique. I don't use it as much as I should, but I mean, I do.
And when you do, you think, "Fuck, I can understand why he fucking does this now."
Oh, 100%.
Showing you how, he would do videos of how he builds his coils and how he installs them.
Right.
And it's great. And even the DIY world, like DIY or Die, or the mixing show with Tribal Buddha and KVTV, they're showing you how they make their recipes.
Exactly.
And you can make it. You don't have to buy it off me. And I think that's what a lot of communities are missing out on, which brings us a lot
Right.
closer together and a lot more friendlier. Like, I haven't had any issues with anybody in the vaping community.
I've been part of a lot of different groups and like motorcycle groups, riding clubs, etc.
Yeah,
And there's always cliques and politics and this and that drove me out of it. I don't ride with anyone anymore because I couldn't put up with all the drama. You
yeah,
know, I mean, there was one group I was part of, and they were all Trumpers. I can't deal with you. You're entitled to your opinion, but don't jump on me because I have a different opinion.
yeah,
And so that's why I haven't had any contact with them in 3 years because of that. And that's why I gravitate towards channels where there's no drama. It's very inclusive. Everyone's very friendly. There's no misogyny. There's no racism, nothing like that. Because I'm not interested in that.
yeah. And it's good that, like, you especially, like, I found with Legion's channel, pretty much if you're a regular, you're a moderator.
Yeah,
And
I am too.
yeah, and yeah, I know you are. And then if there's any issues, sort it out. Like,
Oh
he's
yeah,
good. Like, we don't put up with this bullshit. If you got an issue, go elsewhere and do it. Don't do it here.
100%. I've
But
been
it's
watching his
not
show for
done.
4 years, his channel for
Yeah.
4 years. I've only seen one time where there was a problem, and it was a guy that drank. I think he drinks too much.
Yeah, but even like when he was like saying, "Not here," it wasn't done in a horrible way. It was like,
Oh
"No,
no.
please, just take it
Yeah.
elsewhere."
Yeah.
Where even the way that people interact with the drama is in a nice, respectful manner. It's
Right.
like I couldn't believe it getting into the whole coil building side, how friendly everybody was.
Yeah.
And that's why I like doing stuff like this. And like, this is going to be regular. We'll try and get more of the community on because the community is fucking amazing. And I think a lot of the community need to be on stuff like this. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. And it would be nice if some way, and I don't know how we do it, but get more people involved because I would imagine it's a made up number, but probably 90% of vapors have nothing to do with like social media that's aimed at vapors. They just
Yeah.
do what they do, and they don't interact with anyone. And I think that if we could draw people in, that would be the impetus that would force the governments into changing their laws. Because
Yeah.
I'm not sure the number in the United States, something like, oh God, probably 10, 15 million people vape.
Yeah.
Yet only a small fraction interact with each other. But if all those 10
Yeah.
million people were in contact with each other and in other countries as well, the government would have no choice but to change the laws.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
go
go
on.
on.
Sorry. You go on. You go on. You crack on.
No, I was just going to say there would be a cohesive group that could sway political parties, whatever.
Yeah, the issue that I found very much in the UK, speaking to people that vape that have nothing to do with the community, and you say talked about advocacy, like, I don't care.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm vaping. Until it affects me, I don't care. Even when it does affect me, I'll probably end up just going back to smoking cigarettes.
And that's really unfortunate.
Yeah,
The worst thing that can happen is the government driving people back to smoking. That's the absolute worst thing.
and that's the thing. I think that's the way most people see it. It's like they got the vaping, but they don't see behind it and what's actually going on. But then it's like, for them, it's like, oh, it's more fucking drama. I don't really care.
Right.
Which I can understand. To a point, I can understand.
No,
But for like people like us, and we all see in the community that the hobbyist sides of things, even like Anthony Romella, who done Shake and Bake Media, he only vapes sub-ohm tanks.
Right.
So
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Who
He
cares?
doesn't have anything to do with rebuildables, but
Exactly.
he's still part of the community, and he's still out there doing the advocacy stuff and helping out where he can.
Right.
Where a lot of people that they just don't want nothing to do with it. If they can get their vapes, they're happy. If they can't, fuck it, I'll find something else.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
I'm worried that my whole worry inside of in the talk about the devil when he appears. We were just talking about you. Legion's here.
Hey, Steve.
How's it going? But yeah, I think the issue that we've got very much in the UK is when we have to fight, because it will come. it will come and bite us in the arse. It might not be this year, but it might be next year when they finally come and bite us in the arse, trying to come down with this advocacy, and we try and fight with advocacy. A lot of the UK is going to be like, I ain't getting involved. I don't care.
Is there something? Isn't there something going on in Scotland right now?
Yeah, they're thinking because they're technically a semi-independent from us. They was going to do a flavour ban up there, but I think it's pretty much going to fall on deaf ears, if I'm honest with you.
Okay. Well, I hope so, because that could spread, right?
It could spread, but I know old Boris is he's pro vaping, which helps when your prime minister is massively pro vaping. That's kind of a pretty big hurdle to get over.
No kidding.
Well, because he's all about his bikes and shit, like push bikes.
Yeah,
like,
no, I've seen some pictures of him biking to work.
Well, our highway code has changed, and it's push bikes and pedestrians take priority over cars and motorcycles.
Wow.
So he's trying to push all cars out of London. And he's a massive biker. He don't look like a health freak, but he's all about staying healthy and shit. So he's very pro vaping, which obviously will help in the long run. But I do think we are, as UK, are going to have a fight on our hands when it comes down.
Isn't there an election coming?
Yeah, we have got an election coming in the next couple of years. I don't know what's going to happen because the UK is a bit of a shit show at the moment when it comes to politics.
Everywhere is.
No. Well, the problem he's got is, well, I don't really talk very much politics, but just for a quick second, he had a party during lockdown at his own house.
I saw that.
Did you have a party? I don't remember having a party.
Yeah.
But don't lie on TV. If you had a party, fucking own up to it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if someone's showing a picture of you at a party, you can't say, "Oh, that wasn't a party." Well, you had champagne, you had crisps. One guy had fucking tinsel around his neck, and he's taking off his tie. It's like, that is a party. So he's lost a lot of confidence in a lot of people. So he's probably going to go. But
I hope the next leadership, the party that gets in, is not anti-vaping, and you never know, right? And with Bloomberg,
you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly, Bloomberg's just waiting in the wings with his bag of money,
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Who's got the most money?
But like, I haven't heard anyone say what Michael Bloomberg's end game is. What is his end game?
He probably doesn't even have one.
Like, I don't know. He's got to have something to spend that kind of money. Look, billionaires don't become billionaires by throwing their money out the window for no reason. He's got to have an end game. Either he controls or has an interest in some pharma group that's going to come up all of a sudden. It's got to be something. Because, look, I know rich people. They don't throw their money away. If they throw their money away, it's because they have an end game.
Yeah.
And they know that they're going to, at that end game, going to pay back everything they threw plus.
It's like they'll send you to the shops for a loaf of bread with £2 and they'll still ask for change and a receipt. That's the sort of people they are. You've got to be slightly tight-fisted to keep those millions. But yeah, I'm very I don't know where it's going to happen, what's going to happen with the whole vaping world and Bloomberg and all that lot. I think it's just going to go to prohibition and it'll be the same. It'll come full circle back round again.
Right.
But then he'll come back full circle and he'll be on top.
Yeah, exactly. Or it'll be like in the United States with FDA approved this crappy 10-year-old technology. That little cardo crap, it'll be something like that and they'll control it.
Yeah, well, we're quite lucky in the UK because they're going to start giving vapes on prescription for people that want to stop smoking, which is great. But I don't know what devices they're going to be offering.
Oh, I mean, I can't imagine it'll be anything fantastic. But you know what? No. The people will get them. If they quit, they'll probably move on to something better.
Yeah, and because of our prices being so cheap.
Right.
It's unbelievable. It's like, for instance, my wife bought me this for Christmas just because it was cheap. It's I've got a sub-ohm tape. It's got no sub-ohm in it, no coil in it. It's an all vape Skynet.
Okay.
50p.
Wow.
And that wasn't even in sale.
Wow.
That's just what they're saying. And that came with 4 coils. And everything is so cheap in the UK.
That's amazing.
But
sorry, go on. Go on.
I was saying, like, if you like, I sign up to a load of the websites, and they all every day they'll send you sales. You could get a ether, just a normal ether, for $3.99.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, like the Pulse now is £52.
Wow.
So everything is so cheap over. I can go into a vape shop with 20 quid and technically come out with a starter kit and a bottle of liquid that's
That,
been
that
nicked up.
that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I mean, even the basest of base starter kit, you'd be looking at probably $30 Canadian plus the juice that would cost you. I don't know, if you get a 120 ml bottle, it'd be $40 Canadian. So
Yeah, so you're not getting much change out of a oneer. Well, we can get stuff is so cheap. The only thing that's expensive, batteries,
well,
decent batteries.
what are you paying for 'em?
Like I get my Mollocell's 12 quid.
12 quid. That's a lot more than I pay. I'm paying about $10 Canadian for Molly cells, and I think that's for the 18650, and I think the 21700s were about $12 Canadian. So that's what, 5 and 6 pounds, something like
Yeah,
that.
but I can buy a lot of stuff off Amazon. I can buy vape shit on Amazon. I can buy juices. I can buy kits. I even got, just because when I was buying stuff, I got a gooseneck for £1 on Amazon, free delivery.
Wow.
And yeah, I think that's where we're very spoilt over here. Let me just get rid of this person. We've got a lot of porno people at the moment offering strip teases and shit.
Every site has that now. All these porn bots.
But I think that's where we're spoilt, where everything's so cheap that
Yeah.
UK you'll very rarely find. Oh, here we go. Here's some more. I speak of the devil when they turn up. Yeah, like mechs, you'll very rarely find mechs, like mech users, because they're just so expensive.
Well, I bought an Apex mod recently from the UK. Beautiful, beautiful mod. Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I was really sad to hear about Merles because I was going to pick up one of those too.
Yeah, they are quite good, and the Spanish is the only the ones that I like the Method ones. They're really nice. UK market is all very lower end stuff.
Right.
Like the cheaper end, like £15 is a bit too much for an RDA type job for
Wow.
most people, because
'Cause,
most normal vapors in the UK aren't hobbyists.
okay.
The hobbyist market is so small in the UK.
Because like the QP tanks, they're
Yeah.
about $80 Canadian, in that range, 60, 70, $80 Canadian.
Yeah.
And the bizarre thing is these things, the company is based here where I am. I can't buy them here. I have to go to like Element Vape in the States or somewhere like that and order them in and pay duty and extra because of the exchange, because they can't be sold here.
That's really. It's like I had that issue with one of my customers lives in Germany,
Right.
and his tax is ridiculous. Like, he'll buy a pair of coils from me and then has to spend pretty much the same for customs to let him have it.
Oh my God. I know that Snowcaps mod, probably shouldn't say it on the air, but they list everything as like hobby gear and stuff like that. So it breezes right through customs. Like I sent Steve a couple of mods in Australia and I listed them as flashlight mods.
Yeah.
And they breezed right through.
Yeah, the people were going to find a way. That's why I was going to start a little company called Bumhole Industries, and it's just it's a mech smuggling ring to get them out to people.
Well, all my DIY stuff comes from DIY. The company name DIY Supplies, but everything's shipped under what's it called? Hobby something.
Okay.
Because
see, all the stuff in the UK gets shipped. So if I got like the Dark Star liquids, the boxes have like vapes on it and stuff. So it's clearly marked on the box. Even looking at the box when it turns out, I know what that is. But it's mental. Almost everything comes from China gets listed as metal parts or toys.
Yeah.
You should say.
If you're in a country where the mindset is not anti-vaping, it's not going to be a problem. But here, I mean, there's some provinces in Canada that already have a flavor ban, a provincial flavor ban. Nova Scotia is one. I think New Brunswick is one. And there's something going on in Prince Edward Island too. And soon there's going to be a federal flavor ban that'll cover the whole country.
Bloody hell! I don't. I don't understand how they haven't learned from the prohibition that you're never going to stop it.
No, but here's the thing: prohibition never happened in Canada; it happened in the States. And Canadian families got rich on prohibition. The Bronfman family, they couldn't make the whiskey fast enough, so the Kennedys could take it down south.
Yeah, it's mental times all around.
It is. I mean, unfortunately, and no offense to any Americans in the stream, but the Western world listens and follows what the Americans do. So, 100%. If America wasn't so anti-vaping, we wouldn't have a problem in Canada. They probably wouldn't be a problem in Australia. There probably wouldn't be a problem in Europe. I mean, the UK is an island unto itself, literally and figuratively, when it comes to vaping.
Yeah, and it's weird coming from somewhere that promotes it. We've got them on buses. I'm currently looking at getting advertisement in London as well on the streets, and you walk everywhere in London and there's like some sort of advertisement for a vaping product.
Wow.
And then you hear all these stories about like in America, like where the vaping Jedi is, you can't get flavors. You're like,
no.
What do you mean you can't get flavors?
No.
I've got like 30 vape shops down the bottom of my road that I can just walk to, and they're out in the windows. Nothing's hidden. Cigarettes are all behind like these big shutters that you can't see. You have to ask, and then they slowly open it and grab the cigarettes. It's sort of but vaping's right next to it, and they're all there.
Yeah, here at the vaping stores, the glass has to be frosted. You can't see in. You can't see into the store. And I mean, that's not, for a safety reason, that's not very smart, but whatever. The government does what the government does.
It just seems like two different worlds. I haven't been to America since obviously all this the flavor bans, because I bought my first vape in America. In Missouri.
Okay.
And there was vape shops everywhere, and it's not very many out there, but there was like enough within about a 10-minute drive. And when I bought it, vapes everywhere, no issues. And then you hear that vaping's going to kill you. Now Marvel's doing a comic about how bad fucking vaping is.
I know.
You think, hang on a sec, you would not get that in the UK, like the Beano or something.
They're so focused on being anti-vaping that everything else is flying under the radar. What about hard drugs? What about alcohol? What about we could go on. We could have another show about everything they're doing in the States that's wrong.
But before we end it, because we're already we're straight in an hour and 10 minutes into this already. It's flown by. As a community member in vaping, not being in the business side of it, looking in, is there anything you would like to the business side to change?
That's a difficult question. Here, because we're speaking to people all over the world, and everyone's got a different opinion on what they'd like to see change. I mean, I'd love it to if we could turn back the clock to about 5 years ago, where you could walk into a vape store, vape inside there, and ask questions like, "Hey, what do you think about doing this or that?" There's none of that now. There used to be like building competitions in the vape stores. That's all gone. You can't sample any juices, nothing. At the most, they'll let you smell the juice. At most. But smelling a juice, what does that do? That does nothing, because what it smells like and what it vapes like are two different things. So that's what I'd love to see here, but it won't happen again until the laws change.
Yeah. Well, what would you like to see the business side to do? Do you think there's anything that we could do as the business side or the reviewers side of it to?
I think everyone is pretty much doing as much as they can. I mean, advocacy tends to burn people out. So that, I don't want to see anyone burn out. And there was just a live stream about that, how to avoid advocacy burnout. Either it just happened or it's about to happen. I'd like to see more advocacy. I'd like to see more organized. So like if more vapors could come in and become more involved, and that way we could put more political pressure, because the politicians are all about either stealing candies from babies or kissing the babies, one of the two. So if you're gonna if you had a cohesive group with big numbers that say, okay, we're going to vote for you if you relax the laws, then they'd be all over that. But
Yeah.
now they don't see that. They just see it makes more sense for them to be anti-vaping than pro-vaping, because look at the clickbait media and these fabricated stories, like the Holy Valley thing. I understand. Like at first I thought, what the hell are these people doing? But then I realized where they were. You're in the United States. You cannot admit to vaping cannabis because in some states you go to jail for that,
Yeah.
and or your health plan won't pay for your hospital care. So of course they couldn't say what they were really doing. They just said vaping, and then the media ran with it. The politicians ran with it. The politicians, they want to make they want to curry favor with their voters. So all of a sudden they're banning flavors, they're banning this, that, and on top of that, in the United States, they hid like the law where the USPS could not ship anything. That was just
Yeah.
tucked into a bill that no one got to say, hey, maybe we should take this out. It passed right away.
Wasn't it in a COVID bill or something?
Yeah,
Wasn't
it
it?
was something like that. So that was slipped in. That was like very devious of them to do
Yeah.
that. But unfortunately, that's when something is trendy, they get away with like just disregarding people's civil rights, disregarding the will of the people. They just do it, and you have
Yeah.
no say in it, which is
Mm.
unfortunate. And like I said before, whatever the United States does, the rest of the world soon follows.
Yeah. I don't think Dennis the Menace vapes. Maybe in the future when he grows up. Oh, yeah, it's mental. So we do. I don't know. I think somewhere down the line there needs to be a politician that is a vapor.
There
It's
are some,
probably
but because of the stigma, they keep it very quiet.
because they become the minority, then, don't they? Really?
That's right. I mean, can you imagine, if he starts vaping on or he or she vapes on camera, and then all of a sudden, all hell will break loose for them.
Yeah, it is mental because I know American actresses and actors they're told not to be seen smoking.
They can't be seen vaping either.
Exactly. Where in the UK you can smoke and vape as much as you want, nobody really gives a shit. It's your own right. But it's weird looking at it in America where they're trying to ban the vaping, but tobacco's still as bad, but they're not coming down on tobacco as openly as they are now about vaping.
Well, it's the same thing up here. Like I said before, they're banning vaping and aspects of vaping, but you can go to any corner store and pick up a pack of cigarettes. Why? And it comes, like you say, it's the money. Because if I go buy a vape related product in the store here, I pay 15.5% tax. So that's not
Oh,
much, but it's not much. You go buy a pack of cigarettes, they're getting 10, 12, 14 bucks in taxes from every pack of cigarettes. You think about how much money they're making.
that's a serious amount of cash.
Yeah, if you're buying legit cigarettes, there's Indian reservations around here where you can go and buy bootleg cigarettes, but they're nasty. They're really nasty.
So each one's a different color.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I think they sweep it up from the floor. It's pretty bad, but it's
Oh,
cheap. I was paying $2 a pack versus a store where I could pay upwards of anywhere from 10 to 15 to 16 bucks a pack, and that's Quebec. You go out east into the Maritime provinces, $21 a pack.
shit, that's even more than what we're all paying for it.
Oh yeah, and look at
So,
Australia. What is Australia? 40 bucks a pack?
shit. And people are going without food just to smoke cigarettes.
Because
And
it's
you
an
know that.
addiction. It's an addiction, of course, It's like anything else. It's sad.
So, with your Indian reservations, does that because I'm probably going to butcher this, but don't they have their own laws? So they
Of
could
course.
technically have their own vape shops, and they couldn't get.
They
fucked
do
by
have.
it.
They could do whatever they want on the reserve. It's completely autonomous. And anytime the police, the non-native police try to go on there, it's a war. We had
Really?
oh yeah, about it's got to be 20 years ago now. We had because the Quebec police are, let's say, brutal to begin with, right? So they went racing onto a reserve like they were like the cavalry. Okay, and
Oh,
a shootout ensued, and one policeman was killed, and that sparked off a standoff that lasted probably 120 days, and the military had to come in, and it was a complete standoff. Like the natives had 50 cals pointed at the military had the same thing pointed back. Thankfully, it was diffused finally.
shit.
But yeah, they were very autonomous. They have their own laws. They do what they want, and the white people can go on the reserves and gamble and buy tobacco or vape stuff, but it's not convenient. And
No,
at the end of the day, you don't really belong there. And once you step off the reserve, the police have the right to search your vehicle. And because of that, there were massive fines. If they caught you with a carton of cigarettes, they could seize your car.
really? So
Yeah.
what if you get caught with, just say for instance, 4 RDAs, 4 bottles of liquids?
Oh no, they wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even. They don't know enough about vaping to even know what they're looking at. But a carton of cigarette, they know right away. And because then again, it's because of the revenue. It's all about the tax revenue.
Yeah.
You know,
It's mental that they're trying to ban stuff that they know fuck all about.
that's a worldwide phenomena, though. You have everyone saying, "Oh, that person's smoking." It's not smoking; it's vaping. It's not combustible. It's a vapor. But and again, once you try to explain it to them, their eyes glaze over, and yeah, but it's just the same. You're just as addicted. They don't even listen.
Yeah.
They take all their talking points from some media that wants to get more viewers and sell ratings and sell advertising. So they just toe the line.
It makes me laugh because obviously, like what we was talking about earlier, shit gets shipped as motorcycle parts. Right, you want to ban vaping? If you want to ban it, you might as well know what you're looking for and what it is, and know the ins and outs of it. It was like when they were trying to do the tests on it, and they were just firing so much power continuously for a coil head. Like
I
you could,
mean, yeah, I know. Isn't it just completely ridiculous? Like, okay,
yeah,
I'm going to set my microwave for 5 hours and see what happens.
yeah,
I'll have Chernobyl in my kitchen.
yeah. And it's like, oh, we need to ban microwaves.
Oh,
So,
I mean, look, it's unfortunate that those teenagers died, but they weren't vaping a nicotine juice. They were vaping contaminated cannabis cartridges that were contaminated with vitamin E acetate, an oil that created lipoid pneumonia.
yeah.
And there was another example of that in Oneida, New York recently, but they don't know yet what they were vaping. And like now, the new clickbait thing is fentanyl. They're saying they're vaping fentanyl, but fentanyl to vaporize, you need much higher temperatures than what you would get from a standard vape device. So they just throw out anything. The whole popcorn lung bullshit,
Yeah, I remember that one. I
on and
stopped
on and on.
vaping vanilla custards because of that. Someone said you'll get popcorn lung. So you Google popcorn lung, and then your ass start doing that. You're like, fuck, I don't want that. And then I moved on to fruits, and then years later I learned, I actually paid attention,
Yeah.
and I went back to vanilla custards because I was
Because you can't look. There was a very small amount of dicetyl in e-juice when it was present in e-juice. There's far more dicetyl in cigarettes, and no one ever got popcorn lung smoking. It's only the people that were like literally in a fog of dicetyl in some shitty factory in Missouri. They got it. They were on top of that, they were exposed for like decades or whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be like asbestos. You could drive by somewhere that has asbestos, you're not going to get sick. But if you start playing with that stuff day in, day out, it's not going to end well.
Happen. Yeah. Well, we'll slowly move away from the old advocacy side because then I just get rage sweats and then
Everyone does. It's normal.
If so we know that your all day vape is pound cake.
Yeah.
What is your all time favorite setup?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm a mood vapor. I'm a mood vapor. I have to say, and the whole vaping community will disagree with me, but rebuildable mesh decks, either the Profile or the Kylin or something, or I even have a ton of Steam Crave Addies, and I have the mesh deck for them too. And for me, it's mesh decks or one of what I use, not, I guess, a lot, 80% of the time. But like, because I've gotten into building my own coils and the wire, you know, I do a lot of rebuildables. And I like buying like breeze tones. I haven't bought your coils yet, but I bought breeze tones and I bought M Turk and a few others. And it's nice to have a nice proper alien. You know, that's
Yeah.
really nice. And hopefully one day I'll get there and I'll build my own.
You'll get there. You'll get there. But with the mesh, when I went from Subohm, I wanted a
Right,
rebuildable, and then I actually ended up buying an OG profile.
right,
Was my first rebuildable, and I had that on a topside dual in Squonk.
right,
To this day, I still love it. And then I had a Kylan M,
right.
which I've currently divorced. We have a love-hate relationship. I'll go back to it and I'll love it for a couple of days, and then I get really pissy at it because I
Yeah,
want a coil. So it then
right.
goes back in the cupboard. So it's been in and out so many times. I've got the Profile Unity, which I wasn't too keen on,
Okay.
but the Profile M is a good tank.
I'm not sure if I got the name right, but the profile, is it DS or PS? Something like that. It's got a dual mesh in it.
Oh yeah,
And you put them in series. Oh, so now you add an 80-watt vape on a mesh. Okay. Oh, it's amazing. But of course, if you don't do it all the time, you,
yeah.
you know, if you ever get a dry hit, oh my God. But I don't get dry hits because I do it all the time. So I know what I'm doing.
I've had a dry hit on the mesh deck. Oh my god, it's horrendous.
Oh, it is. Absolutely is.
You only do it once though.
Yeah, exactly. And you never do it again. But some
No.
people just throw the tank away. They just say, oh, I can't take this, you know. And some people say, oh, it's too much cotton, or it's, you know, you waste too much juice or whatever. But you know what? I use that Muji cotton. I have like a
Yeah.
pillow's worth of it in the
Yeah.
cabinet. So I'm fine.
Yeah, it is a lot of cotton, but I found the profile in a Squonk was
Yes.
great.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, you
Just
don't have
keep.
to. Sorry, go on.
I was about to say you could squonk that as much as you want. There's so much cotton in there
Exactly.
that you I think only once I've only ever over squonked, and it was just
Right.
because I was talking to someone just squeezing it, and then it just started all dripping in and out. It's like that was my own fault, but most of the time I had no issues fucking with it.
Oh, no. And I like setting them up. When I set up it in Squonk or the profile or whatever else I have, you don't have to be so particular with the cotton, you know,
No,
because you're squonking. And you know what? In fact, you don't want to be so particular because that you're squonking and you just fill it up, no problem. You know, it's
yeah.
great. It's great.
Once that's all saturated, you can get a good 5 or 6 pulls out of that.
Oh, it's
Proper
amazing.
night. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the flavor, nothing compares to the flavor off of a good, properly set up mesh. Nothing compares.
See, I had a weird feeling with mesh. I don't know whether it's because when you fire it, you get a spray of liquid on your tongue, which gives it more flavor. I don't know why it is, but I have a weird relationship with mesh. I will hate it for a solid 6 months,
Right.
and then I see it in the drawer, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna set that up, and then I love it for a
Yeah.
good couple of months, and then I have to put it away again. It's really weird.
Well, you know what? That's like mood vaping. That's what I do all the
Yeah,
time. There's sometimes I'm not. I put all the mesh addies away, and I set up aliens or set up Claptons, and away I go. You know.
yeah,
And I think maybe like you were speaking of when you fire it, it splatters and you inhale it. I think that's the same thing. Like, you know, Grim Green's all about the crackle, right? So when you're
yeah,
getting crackle, you're doing exactly that. You're spitting up microscopic droplets of the e-juice. So
yeah.
that's giving you all that flavor, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that is a good shout. But yeah, I have a really love-hate relationship with mesh. I'll go back to it, and then I'm all happy clappy. Then I say I have an argument with her, and I divorce her and put her in the cupboard.
Well,
And
I'm the
she
same.
stays.
Sorry, I'm the same way with watts too. A lot of times I'll be vaping like low wattage, 40, 50 watts. And then for whatever reason, then I'm up at 100, 120, whatever. Not like
Yeah,
Birdman. Birdman, like he's up at 1,000 watts or something crazy.
yeah. Oh, him and his 6 stacks and shit.
Oh, geez. He held up a lipo battery mod one day, and it's on the screen. It said 400 watts.
Oh.
I have baseboard heaters that are not 400 watts, you know?
Oh. got one more question for you before
Sure.
we close up. Is there a setup that you want but you can't bring yourself to buy? Is there like just that
Yeah, yeah.
setup?
The a stabwood mod, 600-700 bucks, and then some of those manufacturers that make those stabwood mods, they're also selling addies that are like 200 bucks or something like that. That would be
Yeah.
my dream, to get a really, really nice one, But that would be like on the I would use it obviously, but it would be on the shelf, with a light pointed at it.
Yeah. Get
Mhm.
one of those little spinny things that you get in
Oh
the
yeah, oh
showcases.
yeah. I mean, you can't help but to fall in love with them. They're so beautiful, and
Yeah.
and especially like the ones that are out of the Philippines are absolutely stunning, just stunning.
Oh, good.
And
Oh.
that's what I would get. But you can't drop $1,000 on a mod.
Yeah.
That's extreme.
Yeah, you got to be really nice to the wife to allow her to let you spend that sort
Are
of
you
money.
kidding? If she knew how much I spend now on stuff, she'd lose her mind.
So I'm quite lucky with my missus, because my wife doesn't smoke, she doesn't vape, she doesn't drink, but she loves vaping.
Wow.
She loves the fact that I vape apart from rather than smoking. She will smell all my liquids before I get them. She'll sit there like, I like that one, you'll like that. And she can manage just through smelling it and find liquids that I like, and like
Wow.
devices. Like without me even asking her, she bought me the Abyss and the Ether. I didn't even ask for it, but she saw online, she's like, oh, he will like that, I'll order him that.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
I'm quite lucky on that aspect of it. And like at the moment she's upstairs watching the show. Like she watches all the shows, she loves all the vaping shows, she watches them all with me.
And how's your
But
son doing?
oh, he's great. He's just a
Yeah,
bit miserable. He's only 4 months old.
that
But
must be you guys must be so happy, so proud.
yeah, we left it quite late to have kids rather than start early. I wouldn't have had the patience back in
It's
my
hard
20s.
today. I mean, it's hard. Look, I never had kids, but the cost of having kids and everything, I mean, at 20 years old, which is what you people used to do back in the day. I mean, I can't imagine that today. I mean, you're only getting out of university at that age.
Yeah. Yeah, so we decided me and my wife were like best mates for 15 years
Oh, that's
before
nice.
before we even got together. And then we left it really late to make sure, like, get everything out of the way first. Like, I was
Right.
running around being a dick all my 20s,
Yeah.
and then we settled down together. And then we decided to have kids. Like, we're both 33,
Right.
34, and it's a good time because I would not have had the patience doing
No.
it any sooner. But he's lovely. I can't complain. He doesn't cause me any grief. Well, not too much.
Are you guys going to have more?
She wants more. She wants a lot more. See, my wife's from Bangladesh, so all her brothers and sisters have got lots and lots and lots of
Right.
kids. So she wants lots of kids. So it looks like it's gonna happen. But I said to her, as long as the kids are happy, she's
Right.
happy. We can afford them.
Yeah,
Have as
that's the
many as.
thing. It's the affordability, right? I don't know over there, but here, I mean, a pack of diapers cost an arm and a leg.
Oh yeah, well we're quite lucky because the really expensive ones are the shit ones. Like we
Really?
got like Pampers and stuff like that. You'll pay like £7 a pack, and we bought them, and they're rubbish. So we get like they're like home brand ones from like our Asda, and
Right.
they're better than any other ones. And they're like 4 or 5 quid, and they're like for big jumbo packs for like 50
Wow.
diapers. So it all works out quite cheap. And because as he was premature, we got given the formula milk on prescription for the
Right.
first 6 months before he goes on to solid foods.
Okay.
So it works out a bit cheap, and every kid gets child benefit, which is a couple of £100 a month that the
Wow.
government give you. So that obviously cuts down a lot of the costs and
And do
closes.
do
God,
you own
sorry, mate.
do you own your own house?
No, we don't own this one. We'll be moved. We was going to buy a house, and then the wife got pregnant, and I was like, I am not moving into a new house with a pregnant woman or a
Right.
newborn.
Okay.
So we're just going to stay here till he's one, because
Right.
the rental prices where we are so cheap that
Really?
yeah, like I'm in a 4-bed house with a massive garden, a bunker at the end of the garden, a huge triple drive at the front with a garage, and I'm paying under £1,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
You wouldn't find that here.
Yeah, but if I moved further into where I used to live, you're looking at about £3,000 a month for a little flat. So luckily I live right by the motorway, so I can make it to work in like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So for where I am, I rather sit here for a year till he grows up.
Right.
Because my sister's just moved with a young child, and she was like, "Don't do it. It's fucking hell on earth."
Okay.
So that's why I was like, "Sod it. We'll just enjoy ourselves." We've just had a fuck off storm that's taken down half the fence. If I owned the house, I would have spent an absolute fortune fixing it.
Yeah.
So it worked out quite nicely for us. So just for a year, we're just going to chill out here and get the place once he's a bit older.
When I bought this condo, and now I'm finally mortgage free, but I couldn't afford to buy a house. There's no way. It was way too expensive. And I'm the only one working. My wife doesn't work, so it was a lot. Very stressful to have a mortgage with only one salary.
Yeah.
So, but I got that paid off finally after like 15 years.
That's not bad. 15 years isn't bad.
No, but I mean, I had to like pay every week for 15 years. You know,
you have to pay weekly for mortgages.
Well, you can choose what you want. Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, but the faster you pay, if you do weekly, you knock off like 10 years off your mortgage.
Bloody hell, that's not too bad. So we're looking for quite a big house. So we're gonna, once he turns 1 next November, we'll find a place in like 2-3 months, and then we'll move out. Because currently at the moment, this is my stream area. So my dining room's here. This is where we are. This is my living room. My kitchen's behind us.
Right.
My workshop's out in a garage with no heating.
Ooh.
So I have to walk to the end of the garden to start building. So in the new place, it's all going to be, I'm going to have my own room with the build stuff and the stream all in one room.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll never forget. I went the first time I went to the UK. I left here, it was about minus 27 Celsius. I get over there, it's about maybe -1. I have never been so cold in my whole life.
Yeah.
Never.
It's horrendously cold.
Could not get warm. I'll never forget that. I went to some small place near Brighton. And then from there I went to London. And I just could not get warm. I just couldn't believe it. Like in Brighton, I stayed in a beautiful old inn, and it had to be like 600 years old. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I didn't take a shower for 3 days because there's no freaking way I was taking my clothes off.
Yeah.
In that, there's little rinky. Like I was asking them, have you ever heard of central heating?
Yeah. Yeah. It gets so cold in the mornings. So I will go out. I say, I've got this jumper on now. I've got 2 jumpers literally on the floor here, 2 pairs of jogging bottoms, and 2 pairs of socks. And every morning, that's what I put on to go into the garage.
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you, and I just could not believe it. I'm there like, how can it be so cold here?
It gets shockingly cold. And it's like when we have heat, it's not normal heat. It's like fucking horrendous heat. It's either one extreme or the other, and you never get that pleasant medium spot.
No. Well, the climate's changing. I mean, I never had air conditioning here for about 10 years. First 10 years I lived in this condo, it wasn't that bad. Maybe a couple of days where summer were nasty, but every summer it got more and more and more. And there was one summer it hit 40 C inside the condo. It set off the heat detector. You know, it was so bad. Shit. The cats were like furry lumps on the floor. They didn't move. So I put in air conditioning after that, and then I regret never having it from the beginning. You know.
Yeah. Well, apparently we're having thunder snow, which I've never heard of before.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, we've got that next week apparently somewhere all over the UK. So that's going to be fun because I fucking hate snow. Snow's the worst.
I don't mind snow. It's because of the climate change, we're getting a lot more ice storms, and that's really bad because everything's covered in ice, and then the power goes out because all the lines come down.
Yeah. Well, when we had this Storm Eunice or whatever his name was, it took down a load of trees out the front, and the phone line came down, And I was like, I don't even have a phone. I don't even. It's fine, but it just fucking wiped everything out.
I haven't had a phone for years. Home phone. There's no point.
No, we had one when we got the internet installed here, and the only person that rung me was the phone company. So, do you want to upgrade? He's like, do you know what? I'm getting rid of you because
Exactly.
everybody has mobiles now, so there's nobody needs it.
For the last, I think, year that I had a landline, the only people that called me were telemarketers. So I said, "That's it. I'm done."
Yeah. Well, Chris has got it worse because he lives in Scotland, and his weather up there is I wouldn't survive.
Oh no, that's driving in the snow is nothing. That's nothing. I remember my wife, her family is south of Montreal, and they straddle the border, and she had some family on the other side in the States, and we'd have to go down there quite often. And the back roads of Vermont in the winter, oh boy.
Oh,
I used to have studded winter tires because of going down there, because it was just so hairy. They don't salt the roads, and you're on these mountain roads, and you go off the road, and that's it. They find you what's left of you in spring, you know.
bloody hell! Yeah, no, I don't even go out when it starts to snow. I'm like, fuck that! I'm staying home. I don't do it.
You'd be home all the time here then in the winter.
Yeah. I've seen some of the pictures of Canada. I'm like, fuck that. That is too much snow.
Yeah, it depends on where you are, but I mean, we don't get an awful lot of snow. Maybe I don't know, a foot, something like that. But you go near the lakes, and then you get lake effect snow, and then you could have like 5 feet of snow in one drop.
If it gets about that much high on my trainers, I'm done.
Oh wow!
I can't do it. I hate it because the one thing I hate the most is my feet being cold.
Okay.
And as soon as my feet's cold, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm going home, and I've got the and snow just it just makes me. It just chills you to the bone, and then
does.
more.
Oh, it does. But I guess if you ever come to Canada, go to Vancouver. They rarely get snow. Steve will tell you, they rarely get snow, and when they do, it's a catastrophe. The whole city shuts down.
I can guarantee you put a place that never gets snow. I'll turn up and it will bloody snow. It's always the way. There you go. Snowing, as Legion saying, snow in California is better than snow in the UK. California's central heating and double glazing.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. During the snow, our back window shattered.
My mom's family was from Prince Edward Island, and it's the smallest Canadian province, and the snow they get is sick. I've seen pictures when my uncle was alive of his house, and the snow was right up to the second floor windows. Like you see tunnels. The highways and roads are like tunnels through the snowbanks.
I'd cry. Even watching Ice Road Truckers makes me sad that people are out in there.
No kidding.
It's horrendous. I can't. The hotter the better for me.
Oh yeah.
The hotter the better.
No, there's a limit. I was in Arizona once, and oh my God, it was, I don't know, 37, maybe even 40 Celsius, and just baking hot. Like there was zero humidity, so you're sweating, but it's evaporating so fast. You look like someone put powdered sugar on your forehead. And my lips exploded. They were bleeding. It's hell.
Fucking hell. I went to Texas in a heat wave. And that was probably when I was thinking, this is getting a bit much now. But we got the fucking online strippers again. Fucking hell, they haven't left us alone today. So I rather do the heat than the cold. Like where my missus is the opposite. She loves cold, wintry weather.
Heat is okay if it's not humid. When it starts getting 80% humidity and it's 30, 35 Celsius, you just die. You melt. Even like you get on a motorcycle, you're driving down the road, it's like a giant hair dryer in front of you.
Yeah. You know? The bottle of water as you're drinking it is going like really hot before it gets to your mouth.
If you get stuck in traffic, you're literally spreading your legs as wide as they'll go because the heat off the motor is cooking your legs.
Oh, you gotta love it. I don't do cold. Fuck snow. Can't do it. I like rain. It's really weird. I love it when it's pissing down with rain. That's one of my favorite weathers.
I
I was a really weird child. Like when it used to rain, like thunder and lightning rain, I used to sit. We used to have like a little covered like porch at my old house when I was a kid. I used to sit out there in a sleeping bag with a cup of hot chocolate and just watch the rain and thunder. I love anything like that, but snow, you will not see me out.
I like
You would.
watching like a big lightning storm with thunder and the fork lightning going everywhere. That's kind of cool. But
Yeah, that's why I like Missouri, where my mum's family are from, because they have all the thunder and lightning.
yeah, that's Tornado Alley. Boy, they get really bad storms.
Like, oh, it is crazy. Like, hang on, I'm just putting some more moderators in chat. See if Steve, you're a moderator now. we've got so many like love bots or whatever they want to be called. What's Ern saying? Almost got into 4 accidents on the way to work because the roads were glare ice and people were idiots. Lucky I have a Subaru in, constantly watching for falls. Oh, we where my mum used to live was Beacon Hill by like an old military airport, and
Okay.
all the roads are like this.
Oh boy.
And I got stuck at the bottom in a Morris Minor. I don't know if you've seen the old Morris Minors.
No.
It's like a 1959 car. It had like a crank start at the front. It was one of my first cars.
Really?
And yeah, I got stuck at the bottom of the hill with it. I had to leave my car overnight, and we had to walk up the hill and get a lift from my mum. We came back the next day, and literally snow was up to the door. We had to like shovel the car out. It was there for like a week and a half
Oh
because
my
we
God.
couldn't get it up the hill because they wouldn't grit it because it was like a sheer hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, never. And from that day, I never go out in snow. If it's snowing and I've got work, I don't go to work.
Wow.
I keep a bank of 10 days that I can take, and I will not go to work. And my boss, I've been there for like 15 years, and they know if it's snowing, Ad's on leave. He's not coming in.
Wow.
And I'll have all the heaters on. I've got a gas fire here. That will be on. I'll be on the sofa.
Wow.
Curtains closed. Don't do it. I'd rather not go.
I have bad luck, and I'll go in the summertime. I basically park my car and take the motorcycles everywhere I have to go. Right, the bike with the sidecar, I'll go grocery shopping because I can fill the sidecar with all the bags.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll get caught in these like crazy monsoon rainstorms, and like you just can't see nothing, and it's rain pounding into your face.
Oh, my wife's just texted me saying we're coming to Canada. She's watching upstairs.
So is that West. My wife just put a sign in front of me telling me the liquor stores are all banning Russian products.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I heard about that earlier today, that out west, there in Manitoba, I think it was, they were banning all Russian products from the liquor stores. And Quebec is doing the same now.
Bloody hell. That stuff is mental. If anyone in chat has family in Ukraine or is Ukrainian, look after each other. We're all here for you.
There is a woman that I see in the chats, Valerie JVC, I think. She is in the Ukraine now. I can't imagine the horror they're going through because to be shelled, to have missiles flying, to have tanks rolling on the street, I can't imagine how scary that is. I can't. Well, I know what it's like to have artillery shells come over your head when I was in the military, but no one was shooting at me, So, but I can't imagine what it's like for them. And, that doesn't seem like they're too particular on where they aim. So.
No. Well, apparently I've got to come get you and we're going to go stay at Steve's house. Oh. But I've got my wife, her sister-in-law, their family live in Ukraine. They're trying to get out at the moment.
Right.
Trying to go through Poland. It's mental.
It is. And it doesn't seem like Putin's at all. And I mean, I don't want to get political either, but it doesn't seem like he's interested in peace. It seems like he's interested in reinstating the old Soviet Empire.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was listening to it this morning and they were saying that the guy's been stuck in isolation for 2.5 years and even one of the Russian guys was saying he's gone crazy. There's no, and the problem is the guy don't know economics. He has no interest in the economy.
He's a billionaire. What does he care?
We're the English and NATO and that are putting in these sanctions. He don't give two shits about.
No, he
Like,
doesn't care. He's ex KGB. He's planned this out years ago.
Yeah.
He's got his money squirreled away wherever. He's been planning this for 4 years, and the man, because he's ex KGB, he has false flags programs all over Eastern Europe, actually probably all over the world. I mean, he's got Trump in his back pocket, so I mean, he's laughing.
It's scary, scary times.
You know what scares me the most, Adam? An accident where some fighter gets lost. He doesn't realize where he is. He has maybe some kind of technical issue with his navigation equipment. He drops a bomb. It lands on NATO territory. That's Article 5. That's general war. That's what scares me. Someone makes a mistake, and some young rookie lets God forbid unleashes a nuclear weapon. That's it. It's all over.
Yeah. Yeah, and even Putin turned around and said, "Oh, if you come at us, nuke. We're going to nuke it." And it's once one goes, there's going to be a lot more.
Oh no, you can't turn that off. You can't turn that off. Even if every leader in the world wanted to turn it off, you won't be able to. And not to mention the fact that even the weapons today are not Hiroshima. You're talking a 10 megaton H bomb. You wipe out the city and every suburb around, and then 20 miles from that. And the fallout from that, how many people are going to die? Millions would die just from one.
Well, if they drop one in London, the whole of the UK fucked.
Anywhere. Because, I mean, you hit a city, the fallout's coming down everywhere,
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. And I can't believe that anybody, any leader in the world would embark on such a adventure that could potentially lead to something like this. Putin is betting that the West won't do anything. That's what I think he's doing. And the problem is you play into his hand by their positioning advanced NATO troops, like what do they call them? I forget the name, but they're putting them in all the Baltic countries, in Poland, in Romania. And that will further provoke Putin because he can then say, "I told you so."
Yeah.
And that's the scary part.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy at work, and he's saying that his family, the men can't leave Ukraine because all men between 18 and 60 have got to stay because you may have to fight. That's proper squeaky bum moment. Like,
oh yeah,
even hearing that, it proper drills it home. Like, this could be World War III.
Yeah, and I mean,
and it's going to end a lot quicker, but a lot worse.
Of course, and I mean, I just can't imagine that anyone would let that happen, and that's what scares me because it's the accident. An accident starts it, and it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying.
But scary times, but shit, we're nearly 2 hours in, mate. This is the longest vlog that we've ever done.
Well, Adam, I'm telling you, I am so honored that you had me on your show. It's been fantastic,
mate. It's been an honor to have you on, mate. It's been a great show. I've been really enjoying getting to know you and chatting to you, and you're a natural, mate. You should start the Dave Lloyd show.
Oh God, no. You know what? Before we get off, I looked into coming over to Birmingham for that vape show.
Oh, nice!
I really wanted to come, and then they're crazy. The pricing, the flights. Oh my God! Like 1 week hotel and flight. I think it was $3,000 a person. Because I can't go without my wife. She would never go to a vape show, but I can't go without her.
Yeah. If you can get over, hit me up. We'll all hook up. Well, it looks like we're doing a road trip already. It looks like we're already going. I'm coming to Canada to pick you, and we've got to go crash at Legion's house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's in Australia. We got to go to Australia. Yeah. But, because I want to get over to England, I want to have a proper curry. I love curry.
Well, I live off curry because my wife's from Bangladesh.
Oh, so I love curry.
I had curry before I came on this show.
Oh, I love a good, really spicy curry. My wife makes
Uh,
the most amazing vindaloo, and she makes butter chicken, and she makes curry chicken, everything. It's so good.
if you like vindaloo, have what I have. It's called a phall. Phall. It's hotter than a vindaloo,
Oh yeah? Ooh,
but
I like.
it tastes. Oh, I love it.
Oh man, with good
Look up a
garlic naan
recipe.
bread. Oh my God, that's
Oh.
amazing.
See, what I had biryani, vegetable curry, and Asian salad before, but she does like boiled egg curries,
Okay.
which is great, and stomach curry. That's a good one.
Oh, I'm all about spices. I have
Yeah.
because of my job, I order food dyes from India, and they'll send me big bags of ghost pepper, like 2-3 kilos of it. You know,
Oh,
so I'm giving that out to all the Caribbean people at work. I keep some for myself. Oh, it's so
yeah.
good. Yeah, and it's really, really it's fresh and it's hot
Yeah.
because they also send me cinnamon and pepper and all that. And you know the difference between what you buy in the store and the fresh stuff,
Yeah.
unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Well, you got to remember with ghost peppers, remember acids on acids makes it hotter.
Really,
So if you got chili sauce,
right?
add an acid to it, and it'll make it hotter. So
Okay.
even tomato ketchup, even though I'm not a big fan on tomato ketchup, but if you mix that with chili sauce and
Hmm.
extra chili, it will
Hmm.
make it 10 times hotter.
Well, I use that on wings. When I make homemade wings, I'll take
Yeah.
a stick of butter, some ketchup, some ghost pepper. I'll make a sauce. I'll cook the wings about halfway, then I'll put them into the sauce and coat them all
Yeah.
up, then finish it off in the oven. Oh, it's amazing.
Hey, try and get hold of Naga peppers.
Oh, I have that. I have Naga.
Yeah.
I have Trinidad Scorpion. I have the 7 pot peppers. Because they call them 7 pot because one pepper will do 7 pots of chili. That's why they call them that.
Yeah. Oh man. So you're a chili man as well.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
love my
yeah.
spices. The hotter the better for me.
Oh yeah. And it becomes again, it becomes like a way of life. So I'm having a cheese omelet in the morning with chili peppers. You know.
Yeah, I put chilies on my omelette as well. See, my wife does. She's been trying to. Cooks English and Asian,
Right.
and she never cooked a shepherd's pie before.
Okay.
So we tried to teach her to make it, but she made it the Asian way that was spicy. So it's like a spicy Asian shepherd's pie, mate. Unbelievable.
Wow. Sounds good.
I'll take that over normal shepherd's pie any day.
Oh, it sounds good. What's in it?
Oh, God knows. It's all
Uh,
these spices that I can't read. I'll find out
okay.
for you and I'll send you the recipe.
Because traditional shepherd's pie, it's as bland can be, right? It's
Yes.
meat, mashed potatoes, some corn, pretty much it.
Yeah, she puts all these spices in it. Well, for me, all the spices are written in Asian, so I don't know what it says. She goes,
Oh,
give me
okay.
that pot there. So I pass it to her. So I'll get a recipe for you and I'll send it across to you.
Okay, but in English.
In English, yeah. Because I won't be able to read it otherwise. All right, well, we're coming to the end of the show. So, Dave, do you want to shout your shit? Where can we find you?
Oh, geez, where can I find you? Is probably a better answer. I have no presence really. I mean, I just get on all the live chats and I chat with people. I don't have a channel or anything like that.
So, what are your main streams that you watch?
Legion Vapes, Grim Green, yours, and all the DIY channels. Like I watch Benny Vapes, I watch Wendy Vapes, I watch Advocate for Liberties on Fresh O3's channel,
Yeah.
and who else do I watch? Basically anyone that I come across.
So, if you want to chat to Dave, make sure you're in the streams. Say hello. I've got a little bit of news for people, so I'll just quickly run through that before we finish. As of Monday, keep an eye on my Instagram. I'll be doing an Instagram live where I'll be releasing my first line of Cloud Pro coils. There's only going to be 5, and I will tell you when they're going to be released. And once they're gone, they're gone. So keep your eye on the Instagrams on Monday, and I'll put everything up there. Coils, you know where to find me. Website's down the bottom. You know my Instagrams and all that lot. So make sure that you follow everybody in chat. Follow Legion Vapes, even Covenant, everybody. So if you're watching this on the replay, everybody new that's in chat, pause it, get on Instagram, give them a follow, or on their YouTubes. So we're at the end of the show. Thank you for coming. It's been great having you on. So
thank you for having me.
no worries, but just remember, be nice. Don't be a dick to each other.
100%.
Till next time. See you
Good night,
later.
everyone. Take care.